Hop listeners, before we start the show today, we want to thank our friends over at FNX Fitness. Look, you guys have heard us talk about them before. FNX is your one-stop online shop for all the supplements you need to get the most out of your workout. They have fitness wear, they have pre-workout, post-workout, they have super greens. You know I love me their vanilla milkshake flavor whey protein. I swear by it. And Gabe just got himself a nice little shipment of some pre-workout, got himself a t-shirt. It's peanut butter flavor. We don't support that on the show, but he has it. It's fine. You can get some of that and so much more. Head over to fnxfit.com to get 15% off your purchase. You can use our exclusive promo code. Simply enter HOPOD15 at checkout. That is HOPOD15 at checkout. Save 15%, get a great deal, and get working out. Do it. Meow.
Oh, meow,
Gabe. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the Hop Round 40.
Woo!
Holy shit. We are drinking Fat Orange Cat today. Meow.
And we're having way too much fun already.
Fat Orange Cat out of East Hampton, Connecticut. Little known brewery, lesser known brewery, but a fun one nonetheless. Nice little farmhouse brewery.
This one will definitely be for the IPA lovers, as most of their beers and some of the beers we're drinking on the show tonight are IPAs.
Yes, indeed. IPA lovers. You're gonna want to stay tuned for this one, because we got a whole bunch of them coming your way. If you're not already doing this, you should pause this episode right now and go follow the HO Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. It's a great way to keep up with us, and you're not going to want to miss the can art from this particular episode. So you're going to want to give us a follow over there. Check out our awesome beer. It's really the best beer content on the internet, I think.
Ever.
That's ever been posted to Instagram. You can subscribe to the show on YouTube. Click the bell. You can also subscribe on Apple Podcasts, and you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts. That's the best way to get in touch with us. Tell us what you think. Help us tailor the show to your needs, wants, desires.
Let us know what breweries we should do next. Let us know if we should repeat a brewery and do different beers and or selections. Let us know if you're looking for a different type of alcohol episode. We don't know. Maybe we'll do it for you. Definitely let us know. We're here for you.
We're open to suggestions. Spiced cider. It's fall.
Spiced cider. Ooh.
We could do it. It's fall.
I'm down.
Well, the people have to request it. We're not making any promises. And you can email us, thehopod@gmail.com as well. Gabe.
Yes.
Are you ready for some beer news?
I'm ready for all of the news, and some of the news we have is not too depressing today, which is pretty nice to see.
It's
not like, okay, this brewery shut down, we got some good ones today.
We got some fun stuff going on. At number one, Rough House Brewing has unveiled a beer cave program, and I am fully here for it. Rough House Brewing is a family-run farmhouse brewery near San Marcos, Texas, and they've started a beer program in this natural underground limestone cave that they apparently found when they were developing the brewery space in 2018. They initially thought it was just like a sinkhole filled with trash, and they went through a careful excavation process, making sure not to knock the whole building down, and now they've turned it into something useful. And it's a room where they're going to be fermenting beer, which, fuck yeah.
Hey, you want this beer? It was made in a cave. Like, how dope is that?
It's so cool. If I'm ever a millionaire, this is all I want. And like, I don't need a man cave or an arcade. I don't need a movie theater in my house. I just want a brick room in the basement.
Yeah.
Where it's just, this is my beer cellar. And there's like bottles that's collecting dust, but the beer inside is getting
a room full of barrels of barrel aged beer that's been aged for like years. I mean, how could we not want one of that?
Jesus Christ, never leave my house.
Yeah, right.
So Rough House is gonna begin rolling out what they're calling their underground series. You get it? You see what's happening there because it's the cave. They're going to be 100% cave aged, often spontaneously fermented, and they're also doing food in this thing. Apparently, they're doing a 4-month cave fermented hot sauce, which just shiver me timbers, just sends a tickle through my spine. You can check out their Instagram for more information. That's Rough House Brewing in San Marcos, Texas. And I don't know about you. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this because I am fascinated.
Moving right along on the news and notes, Other Half Brewing is opening a tap room in Brooklyn, and we're really pumped for it. Yay! That always makes me laugh.
Yay!
It is going to be known as Other Half Domino Park. Domino Park is a part of Brooklyn, kind of in the industrial side of things near the water. Tap room and production facility. It's scheduled to open in October 2020, so we're hoping that is so. This will be the brewery's second location in Brooklyn. They will basically be on the corner of South First Street and River Avenue, complete with 50 feet of waterfront frontage overlooking Manhattan and the East River. Oh, baby. Get those selfie sticks ready. They will join a specifically curated lineup of independent and Brooklyn-born food retailers. The co-founder, Sam Richardson, said in a press release, Domino Park will feature more experimental beverages, including seltzers, small batch and fruited beers, as well as styles we have not brewed before. We'll be brewing with new hops and yeast strains and are excited to create more on-the-fly beers. Our original Brooklyn location will continue to offer canned beers to go and focus on IPAs, sours, and stouts. And what's really awesome about this is, like I said, Domino Park is a great part of Brooklyn. Domino Factory, then it got shut down. It was kind of just this empty space. And now there's like a little, there's just an open seating arrangements. There's, rides, I guess. I saw Questlove DJ there once. So what better than to have a brewery on the grounds? It's dope.
Yeah, it's that sort of like Williamsburg adjacent sort of like kind of bougie corner of Brooklyn that's really nice to go to and like hang out in for a little bit. So
especially with this, they're going to try like more experimental stuff. It makes perfect sense.
Well, next time I'm in New York, Gabe, it's we got to go to Brooklyn.
Sally forth.
Not something I say very often, but mask up. We got to go to Domino Park.
Let's do this.
In other news, some Anheuser-Busch news that actually is not terrible. They last week announced the Natalie Johnson Scholarship, which is a scholarship for Black students entering the brewing industry. This scholarship is going to provide annual monetary awards for students pursuing STEM majors applicable to careers in brewing. So Anheuser-Busch is working with the United Negro College Fund, and they're awarding 25 scholarships annually valued at $4,000 each. In addition to that, 5 intern scholars that receive a paid internship in the Anheuser-Busch brewing and supply function will receive a $6,000 scholarship toward the final year of earning their degree. So big beer giving back and helping to kind of deal with what we've been talking about for quite some time, which is the sort of diversity issue within the brewing community and trying to help with that. The scholarship is named for Natalie Johnson. That's Budweiser's first Black female brewmaster in St. Louis. She started at the company as an intern, and now she's a brewmaster in St. Louis, which is dope. Way to climb that ladder, Natalie. She also appeared in a film last week with longtime ABI partner Dwayne Wade to mark the announcement of this.
Oh my God, that's awesome. That makes this story even better.
The United Negro College Fund president and CEO, Dr. Michael Lumix, he was interviewed about this. He expressed his excitement for the program, saying that the United Negro College Fund has had a long-standing partnership with Anheuser-Busch. This scholarship is aligned with the work we do on behalf of HBCUs and our students, and it is inextricably intertwined with the ongoing Black struggle for our full citizenship rights, privileges, and protections. Partnerships like this one move all of us forward towards better futures for all of us. So Anheuser-Busch, they have a lot of sort of give back initiatives, and it's nothing out of the norm for them, but this is an exciting one that they announced last week that we wanted to feature. And for more information, or if you want to apply for this, if you're a young brewer, you can go to budweiser.com/brewing change.
Hell yeah, ABI. That's what I like to hear. And finally, to wrap up the news and notes, New Belgium is taking over a tap room in San Francisco. The Australian brewery Little Creatures, great name. First off, great name. Opened their large tap room in a space in July of 2019 in San Francisco's Mission Bay area. The brewery opened, was doing very well. It appears this summer is when they started to kind of get a little bit smaller and eventually had to shut down for a hot minute, which is unfortunate. But New Belgium will take over. It's basically a merger. Both breweries are now owned by Lion Little World Holdings, as we have previously reported. But what's cool is this is New Belgium's first full service restaurant, aside from, the other tap rooms in Fort Collins and Asheville. They're going to feature a few food trucks, which is always great for drinking beer. The location is under full renovation and will be debuting a totally fresh menu and space. New Belgium is hoping to open by the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021.
Yeah, I think that's interesting that, the Little Creatures Brewing is, just came over from Australia and opened this space, and they ended up closing it, but since New Belgium is owned by the Australian Lion Little World, it's really just passing it from one brewery to the other. It's kind of like if Anheuser-Busch opened like a Goose Island tap room and then just replaced it with like Shock Top or something.
Yeah, exactly. But New Belgium is not a bad replacement, if you will.
So look forward to that, all you San Franciscans.
Franciscans.
Gabe, are you ready for what
You've listened.
Might go out on a limb to say it might be the best toast we've ever had.
You've been hyping it, so let's see it. Let's hear it.
Meow, 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 meow.
Oh my god.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow.
You've learned enough to take the view that cats are very much like you. You've seen us both at work and games, and learnt about our proper names, our habits, and our habitat. But how would you address a cat? So first your memory I'll jog and say a cat is not a dog. So first your memory I'll jog and say a cat is not a dog. With cats, some say one rule is true: don't speak till you are spoken to. Myself, I do not hold with that. I say you should address a cat, but always bear in mind that he resents familiarity. You bow and taking off your hat.
Meow, 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 meow.
Address him in this form: oh, cat.
Meow, 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 meow.
Wow.
I don't think it needs an explanation.
It doesn't. I will tell you though, I had my hand over my heart the entire time. I need a beer.
I found that, I quite literally was crying laughing. I am not going to lie.
First of all, I don't know why I'm surprised. Like, of course, out of both of us, it just happened to be your turn for the toast on the cat episode. And of course you quoted the film. Like, why wouldn't you?
I did quote the film, but the music was the part that made me absolutely tear up. I was just cackling because it comes with, like, you can look this up if you want. It's on YouTube. There's a cat national anthem, and it comes with like graphics of cats singing the song, and there's a whole choir of cats, and it's just the funniest thing. It's just like I was cackling. All right.
The second I realized it was the national anthem, that's when I was just like, "Oh my god, he might be right. This might be our best toast."
I feel like because I have babies, I should kick us off. Because I got the baby Kittens, New England IPA, and also you went first last week, so sit there and look pretty. So it's a New England IPA coming in at 6.5% ABV. It's very hazy yellow. Beer Advocate has it at 92. Untapped has it at 4.05. 92. Solid Beer Advocate rating. The SRM chart, so it's very pale yellow, straw color, almost creamy looking. It's like almost looks like it's very, very hazy, very, very yellow light, like light yellow colored. Looks like the color of what kind of cat would I call this? Maybe a tabby cat, or like a
oh god.
It's baby Kittens. And the pint can has just a whole bunch of little kittens on it. Look at all the kittens.
I got a kitten.
It had a good bit of white foam with some decent retention. Not a whole lot of lacing. It's pretty clean around the glass. On the nose. So you're getting some really soft aromas off of this. Some definitely tropical fruit. But the first thing that hits me is peach, I would say. The fruit is really light and sort of summery, but it's just not very potent. I don't know how else to say that. It's soft. It's subtle. Grapefruit, for sure. Maybe a little bit of tangerine.
Interesting.
Maybe a subtle strawberry note to it, a little bit. But not a whole, like, that's very, like, again, it's all really subtle, and I don't pick up a lot of malt. I do detect a little bit of the hops that are in there. We have Simcoe, Citra, and Galaxy hops. So picture your Simcoe and your Citras, all your citrusy Citras and your Simcoe-y Simcoes, and that's what we have in here. Craft Beer Kings describes this as a lovely, hazy, pale yellow brew with a tiny hint of sweetness on the nose. So far, yep. Up front, we find a relaxed medley of fresh citrus, mangoes, and pineapple. It finishes with a hint of pine and invigorating grapefruit with just enough bitterness to cleanse your palate and invite you back for another sip. Well,
wow.
We'll see.
I mean, I'm sold. Damn. While he's tasting it, Steven, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the Baby Kittens is one of, if not their flagship, and if it's not their flagship, it's definitely one of their most popular ones. Is that?
I think you are correct about that. I'm not sure if it's their flagship. I can't say that with certainty, but it is one of the more sought after beers for them, for sure.
Absolutely.
So, in the mouth, it is that blend of tropical fruit, but the citrus is, there's a nice bit of hops there that I wasn't really expecting. From the nose, I was kind of assuming the taste might be kind of watery or just a little bit more subdued than I'd want an IPA to be. But this actually has a nice little bit of bite to it. I think it's those Galaxy hops coming in, swooping in to save the day.
Do you feel like you're in space when you're drinking that because of the Galaxy hops?
No, I feel like I'm surrounded by just a gaggle of kittens, just meowing.
I mean, honestly, sometimes that's all you need. Like, I'm not hearing the problem here, is what I'm trying to say.
You definitely get all the stuff I was saying before, the peach, the grapefruit. You do get some mango, maybe a little bit of kiwi in there, more of those tropical flavors. Not a lot of malt, but there's a nice earthiness to it and a nice bitter hoppiness to it. It is definitely soft in the mouth, but it's juicy, it's full-bodied, it's pretty well carbonated, and the finish is pretty clean. I mean, it does kind of leave me wanting to go back for more. It's a fairly easy drinker at 6.5%. And I think this is, it feels like a flagship IPA. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard, like, maybe it's not their flagship, but it's definitely popular and a staple. So.
It feels like it. It feels like an IPA that's like straight shooting.
Yeah.
We are a New England IPA. Here's what we are. It's, the ABV is very average. The flavor is, I don't want to call it average because that makes it sound bad, but it's sort of like everything you expect from a New England IPA. There's no surprise to this. It's just sort of like straight down the middle, doing what it's supposed to do.
Is this more summer or fall, would you say?
Or summer, I think.
Okay.
I mean, it's an easy drinker. It's all those tropical flavors make you want to sit out in the sun. That's where I'd put it. It's very good. I feel like I say this a lot, but is it my favorite IPA? No. Is it a good one though? Yes, it is, and I have no complaints. Really, it's just that it's just sort of your standard New England IPA, but it's a good representation of the style. The flavors are really well balanced. The fruit is not overpowering. It's not trying to do anything gimmicky or weird. There's nothing extra added to this brew. It's just those kittens looking back at me. My mom is making me save this can, by the way. So
I was just about to ask, like, is this your mom's like new favorite brewery because she loves cats?
She's obsessed. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I have to save the can for her. But yeah, it's good. You know what's interesting? I just poured like the end of the can and there is a ton of sediment down at the bottom. Like,
really interesting.
Yeah, which I mean, it's an unfiltered New England IPA. It's not surprising, but it's just
right. Again, we say it again. That's not a bad thing. It
not a bad thing at all.
You. It won't poison you. You won't wake up in the middle of the night and say, "Oh my God."
It might be a good thing. That might be where some of the extra flavor's hiding. I'm gonna go hunker over here with that, trying to just dissect it more. But
all right, well, you hunker because I've got a sexy brew in front of me and I'm ready. Ever since I poured this, I poured this before you started drinking yours, so that's how long it's been, and the head retention is solid. It's a centimeter thick, but
I like the color too. It's like kind of clear.
Yeah, it's very like clear, but it's very, very orangey yellow at the same time. Like at the bottom of my pint glass is yellow, and then as it gets higher to the top, the color gets darker. And I feel like we haven't had one of those in a while, so I'm very excited about it. I am drinking the I Don't Like Mondays IPA, and right off the bat, my can has a cat in a shirt and tie with his head down, and he's got like a human mask on. You see that? Like the mask is staring at the computer while his head is down like, ugh, I hate Mondays. This is coming in at a fun 7.5%. Like I said, it's very dark orange, see-through, which is awesome. Bubbles are heading to the top. Pillowy white head, centimeter thick, does not budge. Lot of lacing. Ooh, sticky. This is gonna be. I'm pumped for this. Beer Advocate gave it an 88. Untapped gave it a 3.84. And on the nose, here we go. Definitely juicy. Got that smell to it. I smell a fair amount of hops. Not too strong, but it's definitely there. Juicy, citrus, maybe a little bit of lime. But also at the same time, what's interesting is it's got that. I wouldn't say I'm smelling malts 100%, but it's got the malty characteristics, like that bready, biscuity sort of deal to it.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting on the hop side is that mine has Simcoe, Citra, and Galaxy. Yours has Simcoe, Mosaic, and Galaxy.
Yes.
Yours is a higher ABV, but the only difference in the hop blend really is that I have Citra and you have Mosaic. And I would venture to say Citra and Mosaic are close to the same flavor.
They're cousins.
They're very close to each other.
Cousins. The website describes this, like Steven said, New England style IPA, Galaxy, Mosaic, and Simcoe hops. Mondays is a great choice for the more of a traditional West Coast style IPA drinker. Steven, heads up. Refreshing, less fruity, and finishes a bit piney.
That's weird that they would describe it as a New England style IPA because it doesn't look like a New England style IPA. And in the same paragraph on their website, they contradict themselves and call it a West Coast IPA. So
that's what I think it's a New England style, but it's got the base of a West Coast. I don't know. I'm not that. Those weren't my words. So
weird. Well, it doesn't look like one, but I'm not drinking it, so you'll have to tell us how hoppy it is versus how fruity. But it looks, as he's drinking it, really clear and kind of darker in color, that like dark amber thing that you would associate more with a West Coast IPA. So, Gabe.
West Coast IPA, 100%.
Your website is wrong, fat orange cat. Got him.
It's funny because that soundbite is normally positive and now it's negative. No, I mean it's got the hop to it, but I mean I get way more hops on the nose than I do on the taste. It's so easy to drink. Listen, I love a New England style IPA, but this beer in particular proves to me why some people, such as you, Stevens, why some people really go for the West Coast IPA. It's just like a different type of, it's just smoother in a way. You know what I mean?
There's just a bite there. There's not a, I fully understand the trend towards New England's, especially when IPAs were everywhere. Like, even like, I don't know, 5 years ago, we didn't really have the distinction between New England and West Coast IPA. We didn't know what that was. It was just
right,
IPA,
yeah.
IPA. And at that point, every beer was so bitter and so biting that hoppy thing became the prevailing flavor, and that's what everybody had. So when these New Englands started rolling out more and more, and people are like, no, it can be less hoppy, it can be juicy, it can have all these citrusy flavors to it.
Right.
Beer drinkers, myself included, got excited by that. But if I had to choose between the two styles, for me, the New England has something spicier to it. The fruit can be a little bit overpowering to me sometimes. And sometimes I just want my palate to just get fucking bombed out by hops. That's me. But, Yeah.
I mean, this has some of the fruitiness to it. It's weird. It follows the nose really well, but then it also doesn't. Because on the nose, I'm getting, that grapefruit, the sweetness, the fruitiness. But like, I get more hops in the smell than I do in the taste. I feel like I'm getting more of that biscuity, malty characteristic on the nose than the taste. It's almost a little creamy, which is very interesting to me. I feel like as it goes down the back end, that's when the fruit flavor profile, like when you first take a sip, it's there, and then as it's going down your throat, that's when it really like shoots up. I really, really like this, and I just wasn't expecting it to go down so well and to go be like as creamy isn't the right word, but it's also not the wrong word in this sense. That I hope that makes sense to some people out there. But let me tell you something. I do not like Mondays, and this is the type of drink you want to drink on a Monday.
Yeah, I was just going to say that would make your Monday way better.
I don't believe, no sentiment in mine.
Yeah, I wonder if they filter it or not. I mean, they called it a New England IPA on their website, although, to be fair, their website I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. Their website sucks.
Yeah. I was just about to say we're not trying to shit on them, but their website was just a lot of letters, and it was just like, whoa, what are we doing here?
Their website is a blog, so it's no shade. It could be. I'm just saying it could be wrong. That's all I'm saying is it could be incorrect. What's it say on the can?
I don't like Mondays. New England style.
Oh, well.
Is what it says, which is interesting because for me, this screams West Coast.
You've been called out, Fat Orange Cat.
Your marketing team, get on
it. Maybe they don't filter it. All right, Fat Orange Cat was founded in East Hampton. I mentioned that earlier. It was founded by husband and wife team Sheila Mullen and Mike Klucznik. He worked as a CPA, and Mullen was a American Sign Language teacher, and Klucznik, Mike. We'll call him Mike.
Yeah, I was just about to say, what? His name is Mike.
We'll call him Mike.
Bang! Exclamation point!
My boy.
Anyway, Mike was a home brewer, and his home brewing prowess was earning him awards, and then they decided, let's open a brewery on their property. So they renovated a small barn structure next to their house. They put brewing equipment and a bar and tasting area in there, and they opened the brewery in August of 2016. This happened after Mike, one of his beers won an award at a competition in Vernon, Connecticut. So that's when this started happening. You're much more familiar with this corner of the state than I am. This is the one part of Connecticut that is just dark to me. This whole
yes I am, because I went to UConn, go Huskies, and we'll get into a little bit later, but they have a connection with my old alma mater. So when I was reading all about the brewery, I was like, oh hell yeah, this is great. I was pumped.
They opened a tap room last July. It's called Dexter's Tunes, Tales, and Ales. So this is a combined beer tavern / used record and bookstore. They offer small and large batch beers from Fat Orange Cat, and then also beers from a craft brewery collective called 12% Beer Project, which is a beer project out of North Haven, Connecticut, that works with a bunch of small breweries, including Fat Orange Cat, to do some of the larger beer distributing. Yes,
they've worked with Fat Orange Cat on a lot of their beers. Both of the ones I'm drinking have the 12% Beer Project like sticker on the can. So they've been affiliated with them, and they've been helping them out to churn out some really great beers, which is awesome.
Yeah, 12% is it's basically an import and beer project, like I said, that's out of North Haven, Connecticut. So they work with a bunch of these small breweries like Fat Orange Cat. I mean, like even the beers I'm drinking, and I'm in just a different part of the state, and Connecticut's not that big a state, but the beers I'm drinking are also coming from 12% because 12%, it's like right here. It's like on State Street in North Haven, and they help breweries like Fat Orange Cat, but not just Fat Orange Cat, Decadent Ales.
And this brewery we were talking about the other day, Timber. I don't know.
Timber, Marlowe, a bunch of other ones. So that's how Fat Orange Cat does their larger beer batches, and then they have a bunch of small batch beer that they do that's only available, I guess, at the barn and at this tap room.
They have all sorts of recipes. They make a very strong. They make a point to make a very strong effort toward supporting and promoting local agriculture, and this is where UConn comes in. They have a property that has a wetland, and it's in the Salmon River watershed area. So they get really clean water. And on their website, they gave a special shout out to the Yukon Agricultural Extension for developing our waste nutrient management plan, enabling us to use all of our waste materials either on the property or for farm animal feed.
Yeah, I guess the idea is that as a farm brewery, they have a requirement that they have to meet strict state standards. They have to 20% of their beer products have to be sourced locally, and then they also have to basically give back somehow. And so they've partnered with UConn's agricultural program to sort of help them with the recycling and the various good things that they do.
I don't think we've had a brewery that's had to meet a requirement in order to stay open like that. Like that's very interesting, but it's also for a good cause. So it's also, helps both sides.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we've talked before on the show many times about how beer is a agricultural sort of, farming adjacent
endeavor
activity. Yeah. So it makes sense. And when you have a bunch of spent grain, used malt that what else are you going to do with it? Fertilizer.
Yeah.
Go feed some cows, some chickens.
Goats.
Feed them goats.
As far as recycling goes, they are partnering with G&S Scrap Metal in South Windsor. They have a PackTech recycling program. They're not just recycling normal stuff like metals and certain types of plastic. They are now recycling its PCR HDPE number 2, which for all of those of you like me who had no idea what that meant, it's basically the plastic they use to make bottles, like for milk, juice, water, laundry products, stuff like that. But at Fat Orange Cat, if you have any sort of those products, you could bring those, and when you go to pick up the beer, and they have bins, and they'll collect those and they'll bring those over to the facility, and they'll recycle for you. So they're not only, making great beer, but as we keep mentioning, like, they're really giving back, and it's really awesome to see.
Before we need to move on to beer number 2, but I just want to give a shout out before we do, since I'm drinking it, to their Baby Kittens, because their Baby Kittens made Thrillist's list of the most Instagrammable beer can designs of 2019, and I can see why. It's a bunch of little baby cats. You can, again, it's on our social media. I don't need to describe the whole label to you because you all follow us on Instagram at the HO Podcast. But Obviously. It did make the list, which is a great list. You should go look at it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and like some of these cans look incredible. That's another thing that's great about beer. Like, sometimes the can art just draws you in, and it just makes you want to drink it.
It's a great list, including some breweries that have been on the show, like McKellar. But I have to say, my favorite comes from Calvert Brewing Company. They have a beer called, I guess it's called Dank Memes. And the can is quite literally, it's that lady yelling. It's that, like, I don't know where it comes from. It's that meme of, like, the lady yelling at the cat, and then the cat is just sitting there, like, in front of a plate of lettuce.
And it just says, like, the lady yells something and the cat says something, like, just to piss her off.
Yeah. And
it's great.
Double dry hopped American Pale Ale. And the cat, that juice.
I have to say, every time I see the meme, it makes me laugh. So if I saw it on a beer hilarious. Can, I mean, yeah, you'd want to buy it.
All right. We have more IPAs to drink. Fat Orange Cat does way more than IPAs, but this is what we could get our hands on. So we're gonna go have some more IPAs, and let's pour another one.
Absolutely pumped.
So numero dos for Steven. Don't meow at me. It's the Keep Your Claws Sharp. This is another New England IPA. This one is 6.8%. The last one was 6.5. It looks just about exactly the same. Its stats are just about exactly the same. Beer Advocate has it at 91. Untapped has it at 4.03. We're not really here to give variety this episode. We're just here to sample all the New England IPAs. But you know what? I think that makes it interesting because we're comparing very similar styles, and that makes the differences a lot more subtle.
Exactly. And like we said, this will be for the IPA lovers. I mean, we're sticking on like one specific region, if you will. I mean, it's not like we're doing IPA, pale ale, stout, this, that, I mean, we're sticking to what we know.
Exactly. This beer is, again, a pale straw yellow. It really does look like the color of pineapple juice. I think it's slightly darker than the Baby Kittens. If on the SRM chart, the Baby Kittens was at a 4, I would honestly put this at a 5, maybe a 6, but no more than that. It's
yeah.
pale yellow. However, the head on this one is way more pillowy. It retained a lot nicer, and I'm seeing a lot more lacing out of this one than I was on the last one. We're working with Vic Secret and Citra hops here. And the brewery describes this beer as a combination of hops that creates a unique and super smooth taste. Think strawberries and cream without the lactose and without the sweetness that comes to mind.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Really? You understood that? Because when I read it, I was like, strawberries and cream without the lactose and without the sweetness. So strawberries and cream without the cream or the strawberries. What's left?
No, I think they're saying strawberries, just not like the overall sweetness of it.
All right, maybe it's just me.
Like maybe the strawberry flavor.
I was like, that's a weird way to put that, but I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah. Again, this website, man.
Yeah, it's not great. But you know what? We don't have a website yet, so who am I to judge? The head is an ivory white, very pillowy foam that even has a little hint of yellow to it, which is kind of nice. On the nose. So we're working with much more bitter citrus here than we were with the last one. The last one we were dealing with very tropical, very soft peach, grapefruit, fruit, guava. Here we're working more with pineapple, orange peel even, maybe some apricot. Definitely more bitter, and that, of course, means that the hops are present. There's sort of a peppery nature to the nose. There's a sort of a spiciness to it, and I do get that earthy, hoppy aroma, some grass, some just bitter. It makes me excited to drink it, honestly. Yeah, but it's just fascinating. It's like when I compare the Baby Kittens to this, we're talking about a difference of 0.3 ABV and a slightly different hop profile, but they look almost exactly the same. But this one just smells way more bitter.
Yeah.
Way darker.
And it's probably going to taste a lot different, too.
Yeah.
Chug it down, you warrior.
Yeah, so this one, the citrus hits you up first. Bizarrely, and this may just be because they said it, but I do get a very subtle hint of strawberry. It's not very sweet, but it's sort of like when you have like almost like aged strawberries, but they're like kind of old, or like they've been sitting around a while and they start to take on that darker sweetness. Does that make sense? It's sort of that flavor. But the hops take over almost right away. It's way more hop forward than most New England IPAs, which, as you may have guessed by now, means that I really like it. Look, Gabe, just look at the lacing here versus the Baby Kittens.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It literally, I'm not lying, it looks like the exact same beer.
In the color, but the lacing is just ridiculously...
Right, the lacing is, night and day, but the color is just like that. I just can't get over that. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's very, those Vic Secret hops come through for sure. You get a lot of bitter, and that kind of takes over. It is medium to full bodied. It's not creamy or sticky. It has a lot of bite to it. It's pretty well carbonated, but on the back end, whereas the Baby Kittens was sort of crisp, clean on the finish, maybe made you want to come back for more. This one leaves a lingering bitterness in your mouth for sure. I still want to go back for more because I love that, but it's definitely just a darker, stronger beer. And if you asked me in a blind taste test, what's the ABV of this one, I would definitely put it around 7.5.
Ooh, interesting.
It's a little sneaky. It's a little sneaky.
I like that. That's good. All right, so I have to ask, between the two,
what do you think?
I mean, I feel like the Baby Kittens. Oh, no, that one.
This one, for sure.
Interesting, okay.
I love the bite. I love the bitterness. I love that it pours like a New England and actually tastes way more bitter than you think it's going to. The other one, to me, and again, I am not disparaging the Baby Kittens. I think it's just a straightforward, like, this is a New England IPA. This is cookie cutter New England IPA. Here you go. If you want the template for what New England IPA should be, it's here. And
this one's a little more creative.
Yeah, for me. Yeah. So
okay,
I like it better. I think I would like what you have the best of all, though.
Oh, should I? Is it my turn? Are you passing the torch?
The torch has been passed.
All right. So I've got I love this name. Traffic Lights Turn Blue Tomorrow Double IPA.
What does that mean?
Dude, I have no idea. Traffic lights are not blue, so tomorrow they're going to be blue, and it's a metaphor. It's coming in at 8.5%. On the SRM chart, I mean, we're looking at this is not cloudy. This is hazy. This is
jeez.
Oh yeah, this is straw yellow hazy. Hay
that's
colored.
lighter than the one I was just drinking.
Right, but like, look how like thick it looks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's awesome.
Looks like a milkshake.
Beer Advocate has yet to review it. Untapped gave it a 4.19. Has a very tiny head retention. I would say like a quarter of an inch, so to speak. Lacing not too sticky on the sides. Kind of goes down kind of quickly. On the nose. Okay. All right. Here we go. Ready for this? So This, just based off of the nose, this is the definition of New England IPA, whereas the other one was the West Coast. Like this one, juiciness, hops, punching me in the mouth multiple times. It's like Floyd Mayweather is just like beating the crap out of me with hops and fruit. And it's just like, I'm like, Floyd, stop. And he's like, I can't. You have to drink. And I'm like, okay, fine. Anywho, grapefruit, tropical fruit. I read a review that said on the nose it was like grapefruit, orange, gooseberry. So I had to look up gooseberry. They're basically giant grapes.
We've been through this before on the show. Gooseberries are like tomatoes. They're savory. They don't belong in beer reviews. Stop doing that, people.
It's just... Yeah, I just like, maybe I forgot, but I was like, gooseberry, what the hell is that?
A gooseberry is basically
Jesus.
a smaller cherry tomato. I don't understand why people keep doing that. They're not tropical fruit. Stop it. You're wrong.
We'll have a 30-second rant about gooseberries.
I don't know that I care that much about gooseberries. Maybe 10-second rant.
So... I took a couple sips. I will say, as I was sipping it, I was still getting the nose and definitely pineapple on the nose as well. I just want to make that very clear. But on the taste, I mean, this is New England IPA. It's juicy as hell. It's fruity as hell. This one's got a combination of Citra, Mosaic, and Eureka hops. Creates a grapefruit / citrus flavor profile in this hazy, creamy, and fruity double IPA with a dry and refreshing finish is the quote from the site. And I would have to agree. This is a double. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to call this beer dangerous because this doesn't taste like an 8.5. This tastes like a solid, like, okay, this tastes like a 7 with a bite. Like, it definitely has that bite. Like, you would love this too. But I don't know.
I want it.
I don't know if I would give it 8.5 in a blind taste test. Overall, really awesome. I will admit these are not our words, but I read a couple reviews about this one, and it's not a favorite among some people. A lot of people were like, "Yeah, it's swing and a miss," but I would.
The one you're drinking right now?
Yeah, the one I'm drinking right now, the Traffic Lights. A few people were not about it, but maybe it's just their style. I don't know, but big fan. But I mean, I think the winner in this one is the Mondays, 100%.
Oh, really?
It's just, yeah, and here's the thing, I didn't even have to think about it. Like, I took 2 sips and I was like, I miss the Mondays. Like, I'm glad I still had beer in that glass so I could finish that later. But yeah,
it's just, this brewery has a hardcore following for New England IPAs. I don't really know what else to say about that. Other than that, the people that follow this brewery, which in Connecticut, this is a really popular craft brewery.
Yeah.
And New England IPAs are what these people look for. That's why the Baby Kittens is so popular. That's why this place churns out New England IPAs like crazy. They have plenty more to offer on tap and plenty of stuff that I wish I could have my hands on. Their current on tap offerings includes obviously everything we're drinking right now and a bunch of other New England IPAs like the Right Drunk.
I mean, if you like cats, just go every can at more or less has a cat on it, so it's great. But I love how just different they are. I don't know if different's the right word. They're, a nice brewery. I think based off the artwork, it's very like cartoonish in a way. The artwork on the can.
Yeah, it's like all drawn and it's very. Yeah, it is cartoonish. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
But in addition to, of course, the plentiful IPAs, they have other stuff. They have one called You Can Have This One Cowgirl, which is an 8.1% maple stout made with maple syrup.
About to mention this one.
Because
this one has been pretty popular apparently, and yeah, it sounds incredible.
Love to try that one. They have a Walkabout Sour series, currently working with peach and mango, but it's a rotating variety of sours. They have a collab with Abomination Brewing Company, which is called 11 Lives and Still Wandering. But cats have 9 lives. Anyway, which is a double IPA with Lotus, Cashmere, Citra, and Mosaic hops. And they have plenty of other options, and then, not to mention the crazy, wild, experimental things they've done in the past.
Yeah.
Being the small batch brewery that they are, they can do crazy experimental things. Plenty of stouts, plenty of imperial stouts, plenty of just IPAs galore. Cream ale, jalapeno jack cream ale. When was that in there, and when can I get it?
If you want to get a better sense of some of their beers that they've had in the past and just kind of like how crazy they get, I found a great list on Beer Advocate with just a highlight of the brewery and also just a list of everything some current, some in the past, but they've got quite a selection. So if you want to check that out, definitely head over there and check it out.
Apparently in 2018, they had a barley wine called More Cowbell, which they should get in a fight with the folks over at
Single Cut,
because they got another one called More Cowbell.
That was delicious.
It's really hilarious to look at that list, though, because it's just like so many IPAs, but plenty of other stuff as well.
All right, guys.
Can you real quick talk about how the brewery got its name? Because it made me laugh when I read it.
Oh, yes. I can't believe we forgot that. So it's called Fat Orange Cat. And you guessed it. It's named after a dolphin. We are kidding. It is named after a cat. His name is Billy. Billy apparently made the way for Fat Orange Cat. So we raise a glass to Billy. He was fat, he was orange, and he is our new buddy. So rest in peace, Billy the cat.
And he is dead, but he lives on in their beer.
He lives on in our memory and in the beer.
All right. Before we get out of here, we have to have a fun topic, and there's a Thursday night football game tonight, and I'm so excited for it. I have to talk about it. The Jets Steven,
are
playing the Broncos.
Are you actually excited for it?
Did the drop sound excited? All right, we're going to talk about football for a quick second. If anybody's not into that, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
You. Yeah.
But the Thursday night football games have been horrendous, but I can find entertainment in almost all of them. Cincinnati Bengals are playing the Cleveland Browns. I can find entertainment in that. I'm interested in Joe Burrow. I was just about to
say, out of everything so far, the battle for Ohio game, Bengals-Browns, was not bad. Both teams kind of went off in a way.
But even the Dolphins-Jags game, it's like, all right, those teams suck, but I'm interested in what Ryan Fitzpatrick's doing. I'm interested in Gardner Minshew. We can make it work. This game,
I know you. I know you're interested in Gardner Minshew because you put him in your fantasy lineup, and how'd that work out for you?
yeah, thanks NFL Network. But this game it's hilarious because with the last week with the Jaguars and the Dolphins, like NFL Network has to promote this game. So you could tell that it was like, the battle of the facial hair. And it's like, all right, they found that angle. That's interesting.
Right.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
But there is nothing interesting about the Broncos and the Jets. It's horrible. I mean, when they made the schedule, no one could know that both teams would be so injured that there's basically no one playing football. Like, I think any day now I'm going to get a call to come play football for one of these teams because there's literally no one playing football for them. I don't even know how they're having a game.
Listen, I'm sorry if you're a Jets fan. Listen, I'm a Chargers fan. We're not doing too hot right now. I fully acknowledge that. But for God's sakes, you or I could bet we could play better than Sam Darnold. Like, it's just unbelievable at this point. And going off of what you said about the angle, like all the commercials I've seen, the one angle they have for the Broncos is like, Melvin Gordon's with a new team. Let's see what happens. And the Jets angle is like, New York. Like, they don't have anything.
There's nothing there.
Le'Veon Bell's out. Like, Adam Gase is Adam Gase. Like, Sam Darnold's trash. Like, there's no angle.
I wasn't going to do this today, but
yes, you were.
I probably couldn't play football better than Sam Darnold. Every time I watch football, it's a marvel to me that people are able to throw the football and into anywhere near where another person is. I don't understand it. But I know, and this is saying a lot, but I could probably coach that team almost as well as Adam Gase, which brings me to
30-second rant.
Oh boy. It had to happen sooner or later.
Adam Gase is an NFL coach in this. Honestly, I could be a better NFL coach than Adam Gase. The list of players that have escaped the clutches of Adam Gase and have made it to fantasy goodness and football goodness, starting with. Okay, why are you playing with Frank Gore and Kalen Ballage? Who even remembers that Kalen Ballage existed? Last week they were 2nd and 20 and they ran the ball 2nd and 20 down 2 touchdowns with Frank Gore. What?
Steven has a passion to get Adam Gase fired, and the fact that he hasn't gotten fired yet is unbelievable to me.
You know what's
the reason they ran with Frank Gore is because Bell is out. They don't have anyone else. They're like, screw it, give it to him.
I understand why Frank Gore is the one running the ball. What I don't understand is you're down by 2 touchdowns and it's 2nd and 20. You have literally nothing to lose, and you're not even pretending to try and win the game. You're not even putting up a facade of trying to win the game. It's almost comical. And what's really funny about it though is that I don't give a flying shit about the Jets. I don't care at all. My team is 3-0. I don't care. But it's just so I just don't understand why this man is getting paid this much money to be an NFL coach. I don't get it.
Yeah, I will say
Jason Garrett isn't an NFL head coach.
Right.
He was a better NFL head coach than this guy. Like,
I think one of the things we're missing is like Adam Gase is probably the only guy who was like, yeah, I'll coach the Jets. Like, who wants to coach the Jets at this point?
Someone would coach the Jets. Rex Ryan did a better job coaching the Jets, and he's on
that's true.
Fucking NFL Network.
The reason why I don't like the Jets recently is because in one of my fantasy football leagues, one of the kids who I was playing, this is what he told me. He is a Jets fan, like legitimately. He roots for the Jets, and he still picked up the Colts because he knew the Colts defense, the defense. He knew the Colts defense would just shatter them. And I was about to lose. I was killing it. Alvin Kamara got me like 40. Tyler Lockett got me like 35. Yeah. I was absolutely killing it. But at the end of the day, it came down to like the last game strictly because the Colts defense got him like 22. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And it was because the Jets.
The Colts weren't even good. I have Jonathan Taylor. what's his face? Your former quarterback was not good. They have no wide receivers. The Colts weren't even good. The Colts defense was good.
Right.
The Colts.
They got 2 touchdowns, I think.
The Colts defense got 2 touchdowns. The game started
with a pick
play
six.
1 with a pick 6 from Sam Darnold. And all right, so all this to say, the Jets are now playing the Broncos. The Jets are going to lose. The Broncos have no players.
I hope the Broncos. I hope the Jets win this one, and strictly because being a Chargers fan and Melvin Gordon, the comments he made about us and him leaving. And listen, you want to go to another team. You did the holdout, and you eventually joined us, and you want to go to another team. That's fine, but don't go to one of our rivals, you dickhead. Like, what are you doing? He was like, I'll stay in the division. I'll just go to the Broncos and shut down the like, screw you. So I hope he has a bad game, and I'm rooting for the Jets. And even though that's in the sentence I never thought I'd say.
Let me know how that goes for you. Listen, mark my words. Adam Gase will get fired this season. And Adam Gase will get a job. Which makes no sense because Sean Fisher is fishing right now. And Sean Fisher was also a bad NFL head coach.
Jeff Fisher.
Fuck.
You never. What did you call him the other day?
I don't know.
I think you called him like...
Who cares?
You were like the dude with the mustache from the Rams. Jeff Fisher.
That's probably the treatment he deserves. He seems like a lovely man, but yeah. Listen, if Dan Quinn is about to get fired, which Dan Quinn will probably get fired this season.
Yeah,
Adam
what's crazy
Gase deserves to be fired.
Adam Gase does deserve to be fired.
He had Le'Veon Bell. He didn't want Le'Veon Bell. Why? You have no other players.
Yeah,
Why would you not want Le'Veon Bell? Yeah. Anyone that says, I'll come to the Jets, I'd be like, yes, thank you. Yep, sure. Come on in. Whatever you want. We'll pay you whatever you want. We're New York. How do you not have the money? Come on in. Doesn't matter. But
grab yourself a lime green helmet and strap in, kids.
Le'Veon Bell is the only thing on the team. Your quarterback hasn't been great. And when he was doing okay, he went out and made out with someone in a bar and got mono for like 5 weeks.
That will never not be funny to me.
All right. I'm getting upset and we're not a fantasy football podcast, so we need to wrap it up, guys. Thank you for bearing with us through that. It's just...
Meow.
Anyway, Meow, thank you for joining us for another great episode. Next week I'll be back in California and... Maybe we could start hitting the West Coast now.
We'll see what we can do. Thank you guys so much for joining us for round 40. We've done 40 of these things.
We've done 40. Rate, review. Have a great week. We'll see you next Thursday. Bye.